Channel 2 News begins right now with breaking news.
This morning, the Houston Police Department and all of us mourning the loss of an officer after a police helicopter crash.
I want to ask the city of Houston to continue to lift up, number one, both families, but especially lift up the family of the police officers that has died.
The helicopter crashing into an empty apartment complex building after spinning out of control. This morning, the chief praising firefighters.
I want to just tell HPD that they did a phenomenal job. I think it was very heroic, their efforts. They put their lives on the line. And as far as I'm concerned, they're in the Medal of Valor tonight when they were in that environment, desperately cutting our officers out.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Jacob Brascone. The two officers were on a call when the chopper went down, killing one of them. Just moments ago, Houston police held a procession to honor their fallen colleague. The long line of emergency vehicles led the body away to the Harris County Institute of Forensic Sciences. This morning, we have team coverage on the tragedy. Channel 2's Taisha Walker on the scene. But we want to begin with Joel Eisenbaum, who's at the hospital where the officers were taken. Joel?
Jacob, of course, you saw that press conference that was live on our air during the 6 and 6:30 hour. I found it to be sad and surreal. The chief choosing this morning not to reveal the names of those officers, the two men who were on board the helicopter that crashed, but we do know one of them did succumb to his injuries after being taken here to Memorial Hermann in the Med Center about 3 a.m. this morning. The other officer, the pilot of that helicopter, is right now fighting for his life. I understand he did undergo surgery this morning. Now, the officers arrived here, as I said, about 3 a.m. via life flight. The tactical flight officer, that was the non-pilot, was the first man to get out of the wreckage. HPD helping heroically, according to the chief, do that after an almost hour-long process, just trying to get these two men out of that helicopter wreckage on the north side. As is the case, of course, officers and family members converging here at the hospital, embracing each other, and then the terrible news that one of the officers, that flight officer, had died.
I'm not going to say much about him other than I can say that the family's here. His wife is here. He's survived by a wife and two young children. His parents are here. His in-laws are here. And we actually picked them up. We brought them here because we are a family, Mayor. No one should, so we're not going to say much more about them because we want to make sure that the entire family is notified properly.
So here's what we know about the pilot. We don't know the pilot's name, but we do know that he's in critical condition, did undergo surgery this morning, and of course the chief was cautiously optimistic that he would survive this horrible incident, but keeping in mind that he is listed in critical condition this morning. We're live in the Med Center. I'm Joel Eisenbaum, KPRC Channel 2 News.
Thank you, Joel. We are praying for that pilot and his family and the family of that fallen officer. Many people woke up to the sound of the crash at the complex just before 2 this morning. Viewers are now sending us new videos of the aftermath there. Channel 2's Taisha Walker is live at the complex on Imperial Valley and Greens Road with more on what happened just before the crash. Taisha?
Jacob, good morning. We've moved a little bit closer to the crash site. We're by the pool, and you can see the next building over is the office. That is where the aircraft came crashing into this morning. You can see the indentation. That aircraft described to us being wedged between that building and a tree. Just a short time ago, actually, you could actually hear it overhead. Sky 2 flying over the crash site to give us an aerial view of the wreckage and to show the proximity to the other buildings here on the complex, just how close of a call this was. We also have cell phone video sent in by a viewer. It shows the HPD helicopter on its side, wedged between a tree and what residents say is the office here at the Biscayne at City View. The aircraft went down around 2 a.m. We're told that the two officers on board were flying to check on reports of bodies in Greens Bayou. A crime scene investigator working a homicide at the apartment complex across the street noticed the chopper going down and called it in. A witness helped officers locate the plane. Inside, an HPD pilot and a tactical flight officer. It took about an hour for firefighters to cut them both out of the mangled aircraft. The tactical flight officer, as Joel mentioned, did not survive his injuries. The pilot is getting some praise this morning for avoiding other apartment buildings where many families were sleeping this morning.
I feel sorry for the officers or whoever was in the helicopter, but I'm glad that it didn't hit an apartment because it's a low-income area and there's a lot of people in one apartment, and we're just right there. And I mean, that's close. And we're not in this building, but that building, and it's right there.
Chief Art Acevedo sharing the same sentiment this morning, calling it the silver lining in all of this. You'll hear more from him coming up within the next half hour. We can also tell you that there are some investigators out here with HPD, HFD, but we're also expecting the NTSB and the the feds to come out here to investigate this fatal crash. Reporting live in the Greens Point area, Taisha Walker, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Taisha, thank you for that update there. The last crash involving a Houston police helicopter was in July of last year. That's when a pilot and co-pilot survived this hard landing at the department's hangar near Hobby Airport. The helicopter had some serious damage, but the pilots declined a trip to the hospital in that case. Stay with Channel 2 for breaking developments on air and on our website, click2houston.com. Of course, we will follow this very closely.